Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the ultimate decider, the A-League Men's 2024 Grand Final, Central Coast Mariners versus Melbourne Victory. Central Coast Mariners, the premiers, the AFC Cup winners. Melbourne Victory, one of the most successful teams in A-League history, very experienced when it comes to Grand Final day in the A-League Men's competition. Who wins this one? We're going to talk about it. We're going to preview it. We're going to look at some of the previous meetings between these two teams and preview this game, give you my prediction, my score prediction at the end of the video. And of course, feel free to drop your thoughts and predictions and tips in the comment section. Would love to start the conversation with you guys there. So, 3 meetings between these two teams throughout this past campaign. Central Coast Mariners 2, Melbourne Victory 2 in their first meeting all the way back on the 3rd of December last year. A home match here for Central Coast Mariners, and it was a really tightly contested match. I remember this one. I was at this game. 14 shots from the Mariners, 10 for Victory. This was the game that Bruno Fornaroli scored that stunning goal, curling it from outside the box to beat Danny Vukovic in goals. And a lot of you'll see as we flick through some of these matches between these two teams. It's really tightly contested. A lot of the stats are quite even, and this game was Mariners rescuing it in the end to draw. Victory easily could have pulled away with a win in the end, but a very tightly contested match as mentioned. The next match in the season, 13th of January, was in Unite Round. This match played in Sydney on neutral ground, I guess you could say. 11 shots for the Mariners, 9 for Victory, and the main thing I want you guys to notice here is the shots on target. Is it that it's quite low, especially for Melbourne Victory. From that first match there, it was 2 shots on target, just 3 shots on target for Melbourne Victory. And while in all these games, Melbourne Victory have edged the Mariners a little bit in possession, it's those shots on target where they haven't really been successful in that department against the Mariners so far this season. Of course, that's not anything new when it comes to taking Central Coast Mariners. The Central Coast have been so strong defensively, so well organised, limiting the opposition's quality opportunities in front of goal. So 1-1 in Unite Round, Jing Reese with a late goal in that game to save the point for Central Coast Mariners. And then the really interesting, the one that I think we should really focus on is this last one here. Not just because obviously my Mariners got the win there, but look, an own goal from Ryan Teague there, gifting the Mariners the 3 points. And you look at these shot stats again here. Melbourne Victory were really pushing late in this game. They did pick up a couple of red cards, but were pushing late. 15 shots and just 1 on target. So dropping down to just 1 shot on target. So again, we're seeing sort of that reoccurring theme throughout these games for Melbourne Victory, struggling to create crucial opportunities in front of goal, despite trying to push and force their way through that Mariners defence. They just haven't been able to do so. And in this contest, Mariners, they ended up racking up more shots than Victory in this one away from home. It was Mariners' first win in Melbourne in a very, very long time this game. And I think that result is so important. This game was played back in February, but it's going to be so important for the Central Coast Mariners heading into this grand final, knowing that they have that little that mental edge over Victory, knowing that they have, despite the 2 draws early in the season, Mariners were able to get the win over them in the end. So look, again, the main takeaway is really tightly contested matches between these two sides. Central Coast have obviously been in fantastic form heading into this grand final. They've got an incredible winning streak that they're on at the moment. But of course, Melbourne Victory, it's been a phenomenal final series for them. Of course, the Mariners finishing first, but Victory finishing third. It was a good campaign for Victory. They did struggle to win games. They were drawing a lot of games, but did not lose many games throughout this campaign, which is important to note for Melbourne Victory. But going back to that final series, as I mentioned, the Melbourne City elimination final, the Melbourne Derby elimination final, having a player sent off in the first half, Zinedine Machash sent off, and then forcing the game to extra time with a late goal from Valupale, and then the penalty shootout where we saw the Paul Izzo heroics, absolutely incredible from the Victory keeper, who could be key in this grand final matchup. And then the semi-final tie against Wellington Phoenix 0-0 at home was, looked a little bit worrying for Victory. The fact that they weren't able to make that breakthrough against Wellington, but digging deep in extra time in New Zealand in front of over 30,000 Wellington fans to win 2-1. it shows a lot of character. It shows a lot of heart and a lot of togetherness in that squad to really dig deep in hostile conditions and get the job done and come away with the results. And they have to do the same in Gosford this weekend against a crowd that's obviously going to be favouring Central Coast Mariners. This is a home grand final for the Mariners, which is epic for the Central Coast. It's arguably the biggest event that the Central Coast has ever hosted. So it all comes down to this one, man. How can Melbourne Victory break down this Mariners defence? Central Coast, can they dictate the play? Can they try and take control of things? They were on the back foot, the Mariners, in that second leg against Sydney FC, where they had to hold on to that scoreless draw to send them through to this grand final. It's going to be really important in the midfield areas, as it always is, but you've got some class players in the midfield areas for both teams. For the Melbourne Victory, Ryan Teague has been phenomenal this campaign. He's been Mr. Consistent in midfield for Melbourne Victory. And obviously there has been some chopping and changing for Melbourne Victory in terms of the personnel who have been coming in and out. Geordie Valadon has been playing some games of late, as has Rodney Bonavazia. It'll be interesting to see if Tony Popovic sticks with those guys in the grand final. And then for Central Coast Mariners, I mean, Brad Tapp and Max Ballard have formed a really solid partnership. Two young players, but are playing. They look like they have years and years of A-League experience. They've been absolutely phenomenal. And of course, Josh Nisbet playing in an advanced role, more so these days, is always a danger. But he will jump into midfield and help out the team when needed as well. So it's going to be all about winning those midfield duels. A big game for Ryan Teague here, who's been fantastic this season, the Ollie route. But some fantastic midfielders, young midfielders in that Mariners lineup as well. For my prediction in this one, I think this game will go to extra time. I think it will. I think you look at these two teams, and two very strong defensive teams. I think this could well end 0-0 after 90 minutes, sending the game to extra time. But I think Central Coast Mariners will win in the end. I don't think it'll go to a penalty shootout. I'm going to say Central Coast Mariners 2, Melbourne Victory 1. Of course, we shouldn't forget the attacking threats that both teams possess. Central Coast Mariners with their vast array of striking options, whether it's Alu Kowal, Ryan Edmondson, Jing Reese, Mikael Docker, and Christian Theoharis have been providing the threat out wide. But for Melbourne Victory, they've got one of the most experienced strikers in the league in Bruno Fornaroli, and then with the likes, the trickery from the likes of Daniel Arzani, Nishan Velupale, Ben Falami, and Chris Economides can always, pop up with a big goal as he did last week in the semi-final. There's so much threat on both sides. There will be goals in this game, I believe. So 2-1 is my prediction. Central Coast Mariners to pick up back-to-back championships. But as I mentioned, throw your predictions in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. How do you think this grand final is going to pan out? Let me know. Thanks so much for tuning into the predictions on the Coast Watch Football YouTube channel. I really, really appreciate it. It's been an incredible A-League season, and this is we're doing it one more time, man, for the big one, the ultimate decider. Make sure to stay subscribed to the channel to keep up to date to the grand final reaction and reviews and all that coming out across the weekend as well. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name's Lockie, this is Coast Watch Football, and I'll see you in the next one.